Afternoon, guys. It's another fantastic day today. It's ever so strange weather, isn't it? We've had sun's out, and then I've just been watching some snowflakes about an hour and a half ago falling on the wood pile, and you think that's just crazy. It's such crazy weather. So in the conservatory with the sun shining, it's really lovely and warm, and then next thing you know, you're looking at snowflakes, and then a tiny bit later, then the sun's out again. But it's fantastic weather for processing wood. So I've been steadily moving through my the stack of wood. So cutting now, ready for not for this season, but going to be storing it ready for next season. So it's been down for a while, and then I'll split it, and then a nice year and a half, and hopefully it'll be really well seasoned, ready for burning. And so a couple of things I was interested to show you. I've been murdering wood with my 90s powerhouse, my 262, amazing, and on some bigger cuts I've employed my 801. And then, so while going through my workshop, I've been looking at a couple of other saws that virtually never get used. So it was great. I cut yesterday. It was yesterday, I think, with the little baby 451, and after I'd cut with her, I thought, I'm going to just dress the chain. So I went to dress the chain, and my file was just running off the steel, and so presumably that's because before I only cut it for the first time yesterday. I've had her so long. So presumably that's because the last people had either sharpened it with a grinder or taken it somewhere and they'd put it onto a grinder. So I took the chain to a friend who has an Oregon chain grinder, and so he's ground the chain for me. And so I thought what we'll do is show her again cutting now she's been reground, just to see if she's any more progressive, or so I'm really excited to show her. And when I was at my workshop as well, I picked out one of my Italian power saws. So I love some of these. The more I've used my Oleo saws, the more I realise just how beautifully made and substantial they are. A bit like I know the Ferrari cars are quirky and just keep going up in value, and it's, Ferrari made chainsaws, they might be something like this, hard revving, aggressive, and just beautiful design and lovely finish. So I have about 14 or 15 Oleos, but perhaps 6 or 7 of them are mint, and this is one of those beautiful examples. And so I was interested to see how she performed back to back with my 262, because they are late 80s. That one starts, I think, in 1990. 62cc, 61cc. I think they're very similar displacements as well in terms of the characteristic of the engine. So I think this is a 4735, is it? I can't think of the decimals off the top of my head. A tiny characteristic change. Strange. Mine's gone a blank with the stuff today. So, and compression on some of the Italian saws, if they looked after, is fantastic. Professional saw chain brake, fully adjustable chain oiler, ever so similar in characteristic to the Husky, and performance-wise, well, I'm going to show you cutting because I could barely discern any difference with how they cut. Just a staggering machine again. So, what also is incredible, after you've been cutting for a couple of hours, the sawdust. If any of you got any great tips on how to, I've been looking to, such a waste, isn't it, with the sawdust? It'd be nice to repurpose it, and I don't know. It'd be nice to reburn it, but I know that the log burners we have aren't suitable, and I was looking online and they make some really, but they're not very attractive. They make some nice workshop heaters which you can fill with sawdust, which I'm really tempted by as well. Okay, so can run up to a 20-inch bar, and she's running an 18-inch Oregon setup, perfect condition, really fantastic Oregon, full chisel chain. Let me show you what this creature destroys the wood like. Kill switch, throttle lock, bit of choke off. Hey guys, so as you can tell, they're spectacular. It doesn't miss a beat. They're just gorgeous, gorgeous engines to run. Just sublime tools to use. And wow, ferocious power. Like I say, with that in my 262, and any of you that kind of use chainsaws, you know the 262 is it's an iconic saw, real powerhouse. And the Oleo Mac 264 is identical. It's just absolutely identical. Yeah, just an amazing tool to use. So, right, got to try this little thing again. I'm really excited to see how she runs now she's had this chain regrind. Ooh. Okay. Choke, kill switch, throttle lock, choke off. of difference. Oh my goodness me. Double knots. Wow, she cuts fantastic. So that's with the chain now reground, and so you can see it's more dominant on one side than the other, so still has some life in it. So this goes up for sale on eBay, and so worth bearing in mind then that this chain, if when you come to sharpen it, that's going to need to be put back on a grinder as opposed to a file, unless there's any harder files, but I would think that's going to be very difficult. Or maybe one of the little baby hand grinders would do it as well. That's wow, she's really, really impressive now. She's been just tweaked on a grinder. Let's find a bigger piece of wood for her to give her a slightly more of a test. Oh. What's that, guys? That's about, so again, about 13 inches. Let's just check the camera's still running, or I'm talking on my own. Okay. They're so addicted to use some of the smaller vintage saws because they're manageable. They just feel substantial. They don't feel like the later generation plastic finish saws, which, you know, in fairness, loads of them are still spectacular, but just not this spectacular. Well, wow. What can you say? That's cutting the same size wood that I'm going through with the 264, and just beautiful. Wow. Doesn't miss a beat. Might have a slight curve on it actually. He did say that, so as you're looking with the saw down the blade, you can see that whoever, when they fired it before, it's slightly more, they're obviously slightly more dominant, presumably than they're conventional, they're right-handed, and when they've been sharpening it on the left side, they've taken a slightly bit more material off. But wow, she cuts so well. It's so addictive as well. It's just so, kind of, the minute it gets onto the wood, it's just pulling itself through. Then just run the 264 straight afterwards just to see how that compares. Okay. Something same size. Good comparison. Okay. Switch. Okay, so as we've established many times, it's hard to beat CC's cubic capacities on a engine with great compression is very, very hard to beat. But wow, she performs so staggeringly well. She really does. Right, guys, wow, I've got so much wood to get through, and hope that's enjoyable. So that's the little 44cc 1971 Japanese saw, and the Italian, the 264, so some 88, so some 17 or 18 years newer, and another 20, well, not quite 20 cc's, is it? 44, only another 16 or 17 cc's, but wow, significant power boost, a real bump in the power. Okay guys, thanks for watching, keep staying safe out there, bye for now.